Tier 1. American Traditional. American traditional or old school tattoos are known for clean black outlines, super saturated, vivid colors, and minimal shading. Meant to look like drawings, they generally have a limited color palette and tend to depict subjects like daggers, roses, wolves, skulls, ships, and of course pinups. Popularized during World War II by artists such as Sailor Jerry, a former Navy man who would tattoo servicemen on leave, this was the beginning of the slow trend toward the popularity and acceptance that tattoos have now. Neo-traditional. Known for thick black outlines and well-saturated colors, neo-traditional tattoos are sort of an updated version of the old-school style. These tattoos feature more choices of imagery and are often more detailed. Whether done in black and gray or color, neo-traditional tattoos are bold and noticeable and offer a greater depth of dimension than traditional tattoos. New School. One of the most easily recognizable styles out there, New School tattoos are thought to have originated on the West Coast during the 1970s, and they steadily gained popularity during the 80s and 90s. Known for heavy outlines, vivid colors, and exaggerated, often cartoonish-looking depictions of the subject matter, the New School style was heavily influenced by the Old School style, as well as pop culture and graffiti art. Irizumi. Traditional Japanese tattoo art is called irizumi, which means insert ink. Tattoos have long had bad associations in Japan, and once the Yakuza gang began to get them as badges of honor, the chances of tattoos becoming popular in Japan were next to none. Japanese tattoos are, however, popular outside of Japan. Traditional irizumi uses a bamboo stick with a needle at the end to insert the ink, and derives inspiration from folklore and mysticism. Koi-fish, samurai, dragons, and guardian lions are some of the more common subjects, and true irizumi is often a full-body design from the shoulders to the ankles. Gray wash. Gray wash, or black and gray, is a bit of a misnomer, as it generally doesn't use gray ink. Instead, several ink cups are laid out. One cup gets 1 drop of black ink, the next gets 2 drops, and so on, and then the cups are filled with distilled water. The water dilutes the ink, leaving subtle gradations of gray shades, which are used to shade the tattoo, resulting in the same amount of depth as a pencil drawing. Jailhouse. Jailhouse, or prison tattoos, refers to tattoos done in a prison environment, either through hand poking or with a homemade tattoo machine. Done using only black ink, these tattoos tend to have thick, blown-out outlines and are often poorly drawn with little detail or shading. In the 1990s, there was a trend of naked lady jailhouse tattoos on dudes' forearms, which was kind of disturbing. In both American and Russian prisons, tattoos are very commonplace and are often used to denote gang affiliation. Tribal. While several communities of people have had tribal decorations tattooed on themselves for countless generations, this slot is reserved for the generic tribal style that gained popularity with late 1990s American youth, and they're still popular today. These tattoos use dark lines and negative space to create big, bold designs, and are often more about self-expression than any tribal ties. Script. Script, or lettering tattoos, are one of the most common styles of tattoo you will find. Whether it's the name of your favorite band, child, or pet, or a date or geographic coordinates, if it has letters or numbers, it counts. And while some are quite fancy, remember, readability is key. So if you are getting a script tattoo, simple, bold, and black are usually best. Floral. Flowers come in a variety of sizes, shapes, and colors, and are rich with symbolic meaning, so it is no wonder that flowers are one of the most popular things to get tattooed. From old school to new school, photorealistic to Japanese, flower tattoos are a beautiful choice in almost every tattoo style. Tier 2. Photorealism. Photorealism, or simply realism, is a style that results in tattoos that look like they could be real 3D objects or photographs. Realism is one of the most detail-oriented tattoo styles and is therefore one of the most difficult styles to master. So if you are looking to get a photorealistic tattoo, definitely make sure that your artist can pull it off beforehand. Portrait. A portrait tattoo is one that, well, looks like a portrait. Generally done in the photorealistic style, portraits are often of a loved one, but it is also fairly common to see a portrait tattoo of a celebrity on one of their fans. Whether in black and gray or in color, these are some of the most impressive tattoos when done well. Pet or animal. Animal tattoos aren't just portraits, but can be watercolor, illustrative, geometric, new school, or almost any tattoo style. Animal tattoos often have a deep meaning to their wearer, as they tend to have a favorite pet who has been lost, or even a spirit animal as their basis. Much like flowers, whatever aspect you would like to invoke, there is an animal which symbolizes it. Micro. Micro or mini or tiny tattoos can range from very simple to quite complex. These tattoos are often applied with smaller needles and are encompassed within a small patch of skin. Nearly any subject matter and any style can be done micro, though they often tend to be symbols that hold some special significance. Mandala. From the Sanskrit word for circle, a mandala is comprised of many overlapping circles and shapes, holds deep spiritual meaning, and represents balance, eternity, and protection. Originating in ancient India as a symbol for meditation and healing, mandalas have ties to both Buddhism and Hinduism. Cartoon. The cartoon style refers to tattoo subjects from cartoons, video games, anime, manga, and comic books, done in the visual style of a cartoon. These tattoos look very similar to new school tattoos, but with thinner outlines and less exaggerated depictions, and make for some of the most easily recognizable tattoos. Anatomical. Anatomical tattoos are lifelike depictions of body parts and tend to be in illustrative or realistic styles. The most popular is probably the anatomical heart, but brains, eyeballs, and skulls are also common. Another type of anatomical tattoo features muscles or bones tattooed over top of their placement in the body, resulting in the look of a medical diagram. Permanent cosmetics. Permanent cosmetics are tattoos that help to recreate the look of makeup in a semi-permanent manner. Perhaps the most common is microblading, which is a type of eyebrow tattoo meant to give a fuller look, but lip blushing, permanent eyeliner, and even freckle and beauty mark tattoos can also be applied. Face tattoos have a tendency to fade over time, and permanent makeup is no exception, usually needing to be touched up every year or two. Biomechanical. Biomech tattoos tend to meld a human being with machinery and have a futuristic, sci-fi, or even horror appearance. These tattoos often depict rips in the skin, pulling back the flesh to show robotic or mechanical parts combined with the inner workings of the body. The biomech style tends to favor black and gray or minimal color, and biomechanical tattoos are often made to look realistic with three-dimensional depth. Tier 3. Chicano. Chicano tattoos are known for their fine-line black and gray realistic look and have a rich history of imagery, which often brings together elements of culture, religion, family, and neighborhood, as well as memories and emotions. In America, Chicano tattoos are frequently associated with Mexican prison gangs and often have words and names incorporated within them. Celtic. Celtic tattoos often contain patterns of intricate interlocking loops and knots, sometimes combined with other shapes like the cross or tree of life. Formerly a style belonging to pagan Irish and Scots, it is thought that the Celtic warriors would run into battle either bare-chested or completely naked, and that their bodies would be covered in blue tattoos that looked quite similar to the Celtic tattoos we see today. Sakyant. Yantra tattooing, or sakyant, is a traditional tattoo art involving sacred geometrical designs and symbols. Strongly tied to religion and spirituality, this practice is linked to both Buddhism and Hinduism, and has been seen throughout various parts of Asia and India. Traditionally only performed by specially trained Buddhist monks at certain temples, these tattoos always have deep meaning and offer protection and other magical benefits to those who wear them. Polynesian. Polynesia refers to a triangular grouping of more than 1,000 islands in the Pacific Ocean, with Hawaii, New Zealand, and Easter Island at its points. Polynesian tattoo style is a general term for the combined tattoo traditions throughout the region. These tattoos often feature large areas of blackwork, with intricate patterns left skin-colored within, and animals and ocean themes are popular choices. Maori. Maori refers to indigenous people of New Zealand, and their tattoo art is similar to many other Polynesian styles, but the most popular placement for the Maori was on the face. Featuring curved shapes and spiral patterns, these tattoos could often tell one's rank, social status, and power. Getting these face tattoos was considered a sacred rite of passage, and was done using knives and chisels to open the skin and apply the ink. Haida. Haida refers to indigenous people near the west coast of Canada, and their style of tattoos feature thick lines and bold color, using only black, red, and blue inks, and often incorporate animals and mythical beings. Traditional Haida crests symbolize power and prestige, and were handed down through the generations to show lineage. Mayan. The Mayans are a lost civilization of Mesoamerican people who saw getting tattooed as a sacrifice to the gods. Originally done with sharpened reeds, Mayan tattoos are typically done in black ink and feature images of the gods, as well as spiritual animals and mystical symbols. Norse. Norse runes and symbols are a common way to show Scandinavian heritage. This also applies to Viking tattoos, though Vikings were not exclusively of Norse descent. Unfortunately, many of these runes and symbols have been appropriated by white supremacists throughout the years, but let's not let them ruin our fun. Stick and poke. Stick and poke refers to any method of inserting ink into the skin by hand through the use of a tool. This encompasses all traditional tattoo styles outside of America, as they greatly predate electricity. Tier 4. Geometric. Geometric tattoos can range from a simple symbol to a complex series of lines and shapes arranged in a geometric pattern. In ancient times, geometric tattoos were tied to spiritual and religious practices, but today they are often just a form of self-expression with a hint of mystery. Torn, ripped skin. If you've ever wondered what lies beneath the surface, these tattoos peel back the skin to reveal just what makes someone special. Whether it's a cross, a flag, a superhero costume, or bones, gears, or eyeballs peeking out, always be careful when staring into the abyss. UV light. Blacklight tattoos use ultraviolet reactive ink to glow when exposed to UV blacklight. They do not, however, glow in the dark. It is worth mentioning that some UV ink barely shows up under normal light, leading to secret tattoos that are only revealed under the proper lighting. Illustrative. Whether in color or black and gray, the key to illustrative tattoos is that they look like technical drawings. The illustrative style takes inspiration from traditional and realism, as well as our instinct as a species to leave our mark, and the best of these tattoos look like they are directly out of a scientific journal. Watercolor. Much like illustrative tattoos are made to look drawn, watercolor tattoos are made to look like they are painted, or more specifically, They match the characteristics of a classic watercolor painting. This effect is achieved using gradients and a number of specialized techniques, and they often do not use outlines, or have coloring which goes outside of the lines. Fine line. Fine line tattoos often use a single needle to create a thin, intricate design. Due to this smaller than usual needle size, fine line micro tattoos are able to be very detailed, and therefore they are a popular way to convey deep meaning and self-expression in a small, inconspicuous space. Quotes. These are script tattoos to the extreme. Quote tattoos are the ones where you actually have to stop to read it. Whether it's a famous quotation, song lyrics, a poem, or lines from a book, whatever it says, you can bet that this tattoo has deep meaning to the person who is wearing it. Blackout. A blackout tattoo is exactly as it sounds. A portion of the skin is covered with solid black ink. What used to be under there? Bigfoot evidence? Racist symbols? Clown portraits? There's no way of ever knowing again. Tier 5. 3D. A three-dimensional tattoo uses specialized detail and shading techniques to create an optical illusion, resulting in the subject of the tattoo looking as though it is either on top of the skin or beneath it. There is also a much less common form of 3D tattoo, which uses a red line and a blue line, which are combined to form a primitive three-dimensional image when looked at through 3D glasses. Stained glass. If you've ever seen a stained glass window, then you know exactly what look these tattoos are emulating. Often using thick outlines, bright, vibrant colors, and geometric shapes and patterns, any image becomes unique by turning it into a stained glass design. Negative space. A negative space, or inverted tattoo, creates an image of skin color by surrounding it with black, or another dark color. This technique goes well with blackout tattoos, and many Polynesian and other early tattoo styles feature prominent use of negative spaces. Gradient. In art, color transitions, or gradients, are a gradual blending from one color to another. Gradient tattoos will often skip the black outlines common with most tattoos for a more flowing look. This technique can also be used in the shading and coloring of most styles of tattoo. Ornamental. I read several definitions, but none seem to be able to pin down just exactly what an ornamental tattoo is. They are meaningful and decorative, but all tattoos can be. Maybe it is in reference to tattoos that look like jewelry? Leave a comment if you can shed more light as to what makes ornamental tattoos different. Sketchy. More of a classic art style than most of the others, sketchy tattoos appear to have been torn directly from a sketchbook. From simple line drawings to the works of the old masters, sketchy tattoo artists use special shading techniques and applications to create some truly stunning renditions of any subject matter. Kawaii. In Japanese, kawaii roughly means cute, tiny, and lovable. Honestly, it kind of seems like this is sort of a subcategory of the cartoon style, and kawaii tattoos do sometimes feature characters from anime, manga, and cartoons. But these tattoos are always adorable, and you can't go wrong with that. Ephemeral. Have you ever wanted the cost and pain associated with a real tattoo, but without all of that pesky permanence? An ephemeral tattoo could be the answer. These tattoos use a special ink to create art which completely fades away over a 9 to 15 month period, and any style tattoo can be done this way. Tier 6. Embroidered patch. An embroidered patch tattoo is drawn in a way to look like it has been cross-stitched. This style uses subtle tricks and techniques and lots of thin lines to give the appearance of an actual embroidered patch on the skin. Sticker. Usually if someone says a tattoo looks like a sticker, They are complimenting its cleanness and saying it looks as though you could peel it off. The sticker style takes this one step further by making tattoos that actually look like a sticker applied to the skin. Graffiti. Graffiti is art that is done on public spaces, often without permission, and as an art form, it is as old as humans. Think cave paintings. So it makes sense that graffiti has infiltrated the tattoo world. With tattoos that look as though they were spray painted on, graffiti tattoos are a unique way to show love for this artistic style. Pointillism and dot work. Pointillism uses thousands of tiny dots to create an image, which from a distance looks solid. Dot work, or stippling, uses the same technique, but for shading within a tattoo. Pointillism is a branch of Impressionism and was developed in 1886. White ink. This is in reference to tattoos applied using only white ink to give a ghostly, barely there look. White tattoo ink has a tendency to fade quicker than other colors and stands out better on darker skin tones. Minimalist. A minimalist tattoo can be done in nearly any style or technique, as long as it utilizes extreme spareness and simplicity. So minimalist is not really a style of its own, but more of a descriptor, as many different types of tattoo can also be considered minimalist. Continuous line. A continuous line tattoo uses one single line to create minimalist reimaginings of classic subject matter, such as people, animals, and flowers. Outline only. These tattoos feature only the outer edges, or outlines of the design, with the spaces within them left blank. This results in tattoos which resemble a page from a new coloring book. Silhouette. A silhouette tattoo can be seen as a sort of polar opposite of the outline-only tattoos, as they tend to fill the outline in black, creating a shadow version of the subject matter. That's the end of Tier 6, but with 2 layers left to go, you know things are about to start getting a bit more... let's go with niche. Yeah, niche sounds good. Tier 7. Pop art. Pop art is defined as art based on modern popular culture and the mass media, especially as a comment on traditional fine art values. Which, I mean, good on you, bro. Pop art tattoos are a substyle of the New School movement and tend toward bright colors and heavy black outlines. To me, they give off an early advertising or scrapbook vibe. 8-bit. Pixel. 8-bit tattoos harken back to a simpler time, when the world was 2D, Mario was our king, and blowing into a game seemed to increase the odds of it working properly. Made up of tiny squares, or pixels, 8-bit tattoos are pure 1980s nostalgia. Trash Polka. I went straight to Wikipedia for this definition. Trash Polka is a mixed media form of tattooing that is created with various non-limited components. Detailed photorealistic portraits can be displayed in conjunction with graphic elements such as large black areas, brush strokes, and geometric or abstract shapes. The tattoos are done mainly in black and red ink, but other colors can be used as well. Thanks for clearing that up, Wikipedia. Ignorant. The ignorant art style means to emulate the look of graffiti that was made by a child. Ignorant tattoos tend to resemble crude drawings and are typically all words and lines with no color or shading. Scleral. Eyeball tattooing is the permanent coloring of the white of the eye, also known as the sclera. This is performed by using a needle to inject ink underneath the top layer of the eye in several locations. The ink then spreads to cover the sclera, irreversibly changing its color. Blast over. A blast over is a type of cover-up tattoo, but with a twist. Rather than trying to hide the old tattoo, a blast over is done directly on top of the old art, while still leaving some of it visible, resulting in a unique layered look. Brushstroke. A brushstroke tattoo emulates the look of paint or ink which has been swept onto a canvas with a brush. Not only does the brushstroke style result in some striking art pieces, it also works well for calligraphy tattoos. Broken glass. Whether it's a shattered mirror, a broken clock face, or a pane of glass with a hole in it, broken glass tattoos offer a unique take on classic designs. Other popular choices include the broken hourglass, watch, compass, wine glass, and of course, the shattered glass heart. Psychedelic. The word psychedelic means mind-revealing and relates to drugs which induce hallucinations, as well as the altered states of consciousness that these drugs are said to induce. A psychedelic tattoo may feature intensely bright colors and complex patterns, or deeply cosmic galaxy themes. Basically, anything trippy, melty, or new age. Tier 8. Damn it, kids, we are almost there. Please do not make me pull over now. Abstract. Abstract art does not try to accurately depict any visual reality, and abstract tattoos are no exception. Instead, they use colors, shapes, and other tattoo styles to create their own subjectively beautiful reality. Surrealism. In the dictionary, surrealism is defined as marked by the intense irrational reality of a dream. In art, surrealism strikes a tenuous balance between the sensibility of life and the impossibilities of dreams. Ambigram. An ambigram is a word that, when looked at upside down or in a mirror, becomes a different word, often with a contrasting meaning. In theory, these tattoos are great, but the design must be perfect for both words to be readable. Cross-stitch. Cross-stitching is a decorative style of sewing that uses X-shaped stitches of various colors to create a larger pattern. Cross-stitch tattoos recreate this look, but with ink rather than thread. Pinstripe. A pinstripe tattoo melds hot rod sensibilities with a light, flowy, tribal appeal, tending toward fine lines to create or surround an image, 'cause that's a sentence. Glitch. Remember watching cartoons on a VCR tape and sometimes the screen would glitch out for a moment? Oh, you don't? Oh, then ask your grandparents about it. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. Glitter. Although there is currently no way to put actual glitter into tattoo ink, some tattooers are able to apply coloring tricks that emulate the eye-catching sparkle that glitter provides. And finally, Destrutturato. Destrutturato, or destructured, is a tattoo style created by artist Mattia Mambo. These tattoos feature thick black outlines that fail to contain the bright, bold colors underneath them. And that, my friends, is the Tattoo Style Iceberg, as assembled by me, the local tattooed old guy. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end. This was a long one. If you enjoyed this video, or if you learned something new, please consider subscribing to the channel for more tattoo content. Whether it's Medusa, a foo dog, or an acorn, we explain what tattoos mean. Be sure to drop a comment below if I missed a style, got one wrong, or if you just want to tell me how beautiful my voice is. Thanks again, and until next time, goodbye and good luck.